When you're metal detecting, is your ear or your eyes more important? Let's talk about it. So, I got this question. What VDI should I be looking for to find gold rings? Okay. What should I be digging up so that I can find gold jewelry? And I see this question, and it's all over the place. Forums, Facebook groups. Of course, everybody wants gold jewelry, right? Um, Here's the thing about gold, right? Gold does not have a singular VDI or conductivity. A gold target does not have a singular VDI or conductivity. Gold behaves in a way that and every material behaves this way to an extent, but gold can be so many different numbers, okay? I mean, a small, thin lady's ring is going to bring up a lot lower VDI than a big, chunky, 15-gram men's gold ring, gold class ring, or whatever you have, right? Um, the purity of the gold makes a big difference. 10 karat gold, rings up a lot higher than 24 karat gold or 18 karat gold. The more pure the gold, the lower it will ring up in VDI. But that you can't even go by that. There's no number for 24 karat gold or 18 karat gold or 10. Uh, it's also highly dependent on the size of the ring and even the shape of the ring. A ring that's got a plain wedding band is going to be a lot different than a ring that's got a bunch of um, fancy little pieces to it where you've got a setting and all this stuff. There's so much variety, and you know, talk about an earring or something like that, it's going to be lower than a ring and sketchier and scratchier. Another big thing is, the orientation in the ground varies the signal for jewelry. The depth is huge. The ground conditions, moist ground, dry ground, changes the detector signal. Okay, even the exact same target in moist ground sounds different than in dry ground. Sounds different from deep versus shallow, um, and comes up different. And the VDI and the conductivity registers differently based on the signal, based on the ground conditions. It's huge. It's huge. It's a big part of it. Um, you know, a higher end metal detector versus a low end metal detector, totally different experience. But thing that's going to create a challenge is ground contamination. Mineralization, your iron content in your ground, actual iron, junk in the ground next to your good target is going to throw off your VDI, and it's going to throw off your sound too. So this is going to create a challenge. One of many challenges in metal detecting. Yeah, and chains. Chains are a whole different story. Chains are super hard to detect just because, and here's why chains are so hard to detect is because a metal detector sees a chain as a whole bunch, say 50 tiny targets that are touching. They're not one continuous piece of metal, they're touching. So that conductivity of a piece of metal touching another metal, the conductivity across there is super low compared to a solid piece of metal. All right. And the detector is confused by that, by these chains. Even if you clump a chain together in your hand, it's very scratchy in tone. Um, so they're super hard to find. You will really have to dig some iffy, scratchy signals to find chains. But the point of this video is this, okay? I want you to use your ear more than you are now. I want you to trust your ear more than you are now. I want you to start being a little skeptical of what you see on the screen and detect by ear. If you are detecting and you hear a signal that sounds so wonderful, and you're looking at the screen and you're looking at the VDI number, and you're saying to yourself, that's probably aluminum. I'm not digging that. Even though the sound sounded great, you're gonna probably be missing some targets. Okay. Sometimes gold comes up as a piece of garbage. Okay. I don't know how many times. Well, I mean, it's not super often or super common, but there have been lots of times where I was digging up what I almost was sure was a piece of garbage, and that's like probably how I got half of the jewelry that I found. Um, Unsure, you're never sure that something's gold, ever. That's just not a thing. Um, if you have an XP Deus 2, give it a try. Take the controller off and put it in your pocket, and just use purely audio. I think it makes you a better metal detectorist, using audio only, if you can. If you can manage to bring yourself to do this, right? Uh, Use audio only. It's kind of like, when someone when someone has an accident and when they become blind, their other senses elevate. Like, you're depending on your ear. If you depend on your ear and start training your brain that way, your brain will find those nuances in that sound more than if you're hearing a sound, looking at the screen, moving on, right? I think that it makes you a better, more skilled detectorist. Um, and the ear training is definitely a skill that takes some time, and you will have to be consistent with it, at least for a little while. Give it a try. I mean, you know, sometimes people are going to get discouraged with this and just go back to using the screen. Hey, that's okay too. There's no there's no rules here, right? This is just a suggestion, and you know, does it will it make you better? I think it will. Uh, even even if you go back to using the screen, I think that you'll have something planted in your brain that maybe if you depended on your ear for a couple days or a week, or maybe 6 7 times out metal detecting, depend on your ear. I believe that your brain will kind of enhance that wiring of your audio sense of what that detector's telling you. Once you dig up a couple good targets based on what your ear told you, you're gonna see what I mean here. Um, Guys, here's the thing about aluminum and gold. All right, aluminum and gold have very similar properties when it comes to metal detecting. All right, an aluminum pull tab is going to come up very similar to some gold ring out there. Okay, gold rings are different, pull tabs are different, but they can interchange as far as how they come up. Let's just say if you had a ring made out of aluminum, it would be literally impossible for any metal detector to discern that ring from a gold ring. Uh, you know, Possibly a slightly different size gold ring. They're not identical, but in conductivity. But there is no way to tell the difference, not knowing the size of the exact size of the shape of your target before you dig it up. And I don't care if you have a $99 metal detector or a $1,799 metal detector. They cannot tell. They cannot tell aluminum from gold in and of itself. Okay, You can tell the size of your target to an extent. Okay, there are ways with practice to tell the size. Like if you had a big piece of aluminum, there's a way to tell that. But I'm not telling you not to dig that up, because nothing's definite. Okay, there are two words in metal detecting that just aren't in the vocabulary. Okay, the two words are always and never. Okay, there's no always in metal detecting, and there's no never in metal detecting. Everything is subjective. Everything changes. Everything depends on five other things. Just keep that in mind. All right, there's no definite answer for any target question. It's always, well, depends on this or depends on that. So guess what? You've got to kind of play the numbers. You're playing the odds here. All right. Have a great day, everybody. Thank you for watching. Appreciate everyone. Get out there and find some gold and swing away.